Welcome to Amazonia Communication Network, the most educational and anti-colonial revolutionary TV in sub-Saharan Africa. This primetime event will begin momentarily. We urge our viewers to stand by.
This is a live address from the leader of the Amazonia War of Independence. Welcome to ACN. The Liberation TV of Amazonia.
Amazonia, special loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who brought the lonely gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with the holy. Glory, glory. Glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His nation. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
My fellow Amazonians, fellow citizens of our great nation, exactly 39 years ago, the Bulu Republic of Cameroon, in its masterclass attempt to completely take over our land, instituted a day of national unity called 20th of May. Every year since 1972, they have rallied our people, men and women, our traditional leaders. They've rallied our school, our family, to celebrate the day of our conquer. They have done so with a lot of fanfare. They've engaged in military parade as a demonstration of the victory of tyranny over democracy, as a demonstration of the victory of occupation over the protection of sovereignty, as a demonstration of the undermining of the Charter of the United Nations that protects states from external aggression. We have joined them every year in celebrating the day of our annexation. We have sung their anthem, we have worshipped their flag, they have paraded on our streets like conquerors, warriors who marshaled their army unopposed to overthrow the first democracy in the continent of Africa. They took over our land massively and continuously, have deployed their army on our streets as agents of terror who have terrorized our population. They've imposed an iron fist rule that has gone unopposed for close to 40 years. They have raped our resources in the name of national unity. They have used it as a propaganda to mask their intention of occupation. National unity has been a slogan that has deprived us of the right to exercise power over our country, to manage our resources, explore and exploit our potentials for the benefit of our people. The concept of national unity has been used to mask an evil intention to rob a nation of its values, customs, to rob a people of their destiny, to take over our country. Evil that visited us 39 years. This is the evil of us, if not all of us, have helped them through our activities on the 20th of May to sustain, to legitimize an oppressive, unrepresented republic over the nation of Ambazonia, the first democracy in the continent of Africa, the first country that organized a free and fair election, where Cameroon was trapped in the paw of the UPCs and others. This is how we swapped thriving economic pluralism, autocratic decision that believes only in the use of force. That is why every 20th of May, they paraded their army, show us their weapons, when this generation Cameroon, a day of humiliation in our country. Fellow countrymen and women, it has taken many generations who have intermittently challenged the significance, the legal validity, the foundation upon which a concept of national unity was imposed in our land without our consent and has since been used as a form of terror over our people. A few days ago, the War Council called for a day of resistance on the 20th of May. My fellow countrymen, until those evacuate our country, the 20th of May will remain a day of national resistance, a day of collective rejection of an alien political system implanted in our country that has caused so much hardship and pain. Of courage. Yesterday was a demonstration of our collective rejection of the occupation of our country and our affirmation of the independence restored and asserted, and our willingness to pay in blood and treasure in the defense of that independence. As I have said repeatedly, our struggle is that of survival. Our struggle is that of existence. Our struggle is that of the preservation of the values that make us a people. Our struggle is to give an opportunity within a defined space of our people to flourish, to live in peace and tranquility, and establish for themselves a political system that reflects their own context. What exists now in the continent are cartels, economic cartels that are not run by presidents but are run by CEOs who represent the interests of foreign parastatals and companies. We seek to establish a truly independent state that has economic independence, political independence, can make this on behalf of the people. Yesterday has been a day that has demonstrated once more to ourselves as a people of our collective desire to rid ourselves of this debt that took over our land more than 60 years ago. But more so, it was a demonstration of our collective desire, international community, that we as a people will stop at nothing. Full independence, control of our territorial space, and sovereignty restored to the Amazonian people. I want to salute the courage of our forces. In the past few months, as we have all observed, and as we have predicted, Cameroon does not have the capacity. Cameroon does not have the number of men and women to occupy Amazonia. It has relied on enablers. It has relied on colonial consuls in the name of DOs, SDOs, and the proliferation within our territory of governors, mayors, parliamentarians who have been unelected, who have never represented the Amazonian interests. Cameroon as it does that capacity. It does not have both the economic, financial, or military capacity to occupy Amazonia. Its reliance on internal enablers and infiltrators and its proconsuls and the brute use of force and bribery and corruption has been unraveled in the past 4 years. Our country was on lockdown yesterday. We showed them who was the boss. We showed them who is in charge. Our forces have barricaded streets. They have painted our national symbols on our streets. They have made patrols on highways. They have confronted the regimes in military operations. Our people have demonstrated collectively across our capital in Boya, our economic capital in Victoria, our resistance across the entire territory, that we as a people, despite our differences, despite the nuances, are determined to write Cameroon as the last chapter of the history of Amazonia. My fellow countrymen and women, this is just the beginning. In the past few months, our forces have continuously assaulted Cameroon. They thought they could in armor cars. Before, we have developed the technology to be able to smoke them out of the armor cars. We are working on more sophisticated technology that will be able to deliver a payload a few kilometers wherever they hide, wherever they take refuge. Will enable them set foot on amber. It is a potential graveyard for them. We seek no evil as a people against our neighbors and anyone. But for 6 years, Cameroon has shown us through its action, behavior, and sheer arrogance that is a brutal occupier that is willing to burn down our villages, torture our people, rendition our people, our children, murder our grandmothers, use terror to impose itself, including genocide. Its genocidal actions have been recorded across different cities in Amazonia, where it has carried out massacres, it has engaged in systematic rape, it has incarcerated thousands of our people, detained them incommunicado, subjected them to psychological torture, treated them with inhumanity for the sheer desire to impose its rule on us without our consent. Not this generation. Not this generation. We have won Cameroon a couple of years ago. We may be just 2 cubes of sugar, but you cannot dissolve us. Our history of resistance, from the Kuva Lekenyes, the Galigas, all the other warriors dead and alive who stood up against this tyranny, should have shown Cameroon we are unbeatable. We are indomitable. We may have our differences. We may go through the tunnel of hopelessness, through the shadow of darkness. We may struggle from DIN guns to upgrade to AK-47. We may be able to struggle to mobilize the resources to defend our people and ours. But we have what it takes to be free. That dogged determination to defend what is ours, provide to the next generation a better country. The next few months will be more difficult. It may be more difficult for you. We may be imposing certain rules on that you might initially question. But whatever we do is to hurt the enemy. We understand it will hurt our people. We understand when you administer a vaccine, it has the potential of having side effects. But the overall desire is to knock off the ability of Cameroon to continuously perpetuate itself in our country, try to minimize using Amazonian infiltrators and enablers. The coming months are difficult for us, but it will be more deadly for the enemy. What you are seeing, what you have seen from the 1st of January is just the tip of the iceberg. We are prepared for Cameroon. As we promised before, we will bleed them. We are territory ungovernable for them. We will shape their colonial administrators in armor cars where we will use our technology and our know-how to pop them out. We have undermined them internationally changed the narrative. An international narrative that believed legitimacy of Cameroon. An international narrative that believed in one Cameroon under international law. We have flipped the coin in favor of Ambazonia. That Ambazonia was a state occupied illegally by an aggressive neighbor that we've provided refuge to them. That state's interest restored was asserted, and this generation's obligation is to defend that independence. Our narrative is working. Cameroon has repeatedly been called at the level of the international terminate its presence. It has refused, believing in bribery and corruption, and believing in the use of what it perceived was its invincible army. The invincibility of that army has been shattered by our fighters, and we remain brave. On the streets linking Mile 90 to Bali today, our forces have blocked the way. Cameroon has struggled to move reinforcement that has been impossible because we are dug in. And I ask all of you to trust in our fighters. They are the true vanguards of our liberation struggle. 4 years without pay. They fought for 4 years without thank you. They fought for 4 years under difficult circumstances. No material, no food, no acclamation. Constantly being assaulted. They have not given up because it's difficult. They have learned to become better. They've learned to equip themselves more. They have strategized to share intelligence, collaboration in actions and in terms of operations. They have become more effective. And we are seeing the result as it bears out in front of all of us. My fellow countrymen and women, it took the Americans a lot of injection of resources and sacrifices in terms of blood and treasure to be free. It took the Eritreans, those in the diaspora, those who were locked up in the battlefields at home, a lot of sacrifices and perseverance to be free. Ambazonians, you must persevere. The road behind leads to Cameroon. The road of unhappiness, the road of sadness, that of death, destruction of our properties, torture. The road behind is that of uncertainty. The road behind is that of installing a government without consent, tyranny and oppression. The road behind is that of economic decay, usurpation. The road moving forward leads to freedom. The road moving forward leads to certainty, where you can celebrate days for heroes, days of true independence, days of glory. The road forward might be bleak, but it leads to somewhere where other peoples who have fought for freedom have traveled and have been able to establish in the face of the earth powerful nations that have shipped men and women to the moon. They've built the internet broad way so you can sit. I can sit here and I'll address you right in Ambazonia. The road forward is that of economic innovation, technological innovation, where we harness our collective potentials as Ambazonians to give a better lives to our people. That's the road forward. It will require sacrifice. It will require perseverance. It will require total, complete rejection of Cameroon in all its manifestations and form. As I said a couple of months back, smiling with Cameroon forces is providing your house to Cameroon forces is betrayal. We as a people must know that our days with Cameroon is over. And despite the difficulties of today, we are making a journey to the known, to certainty. Thanks to all of you. the bayam sellers, the taxi drivers, the hairdressers, the bike riders, all of our people who have not given up on an ideal which is universal, that of establishing a nation for yourself, for your people, and transferring to the next generation something better, something more novel, something innovative. Amazonians, we've lived in the dark for 60 years with the people who have treated us with no respect, treated us with contempt and disdain. And each time we've raised our voices, they've used the barrel of the gun to respond. They've murdered without remorse. They've buried our people alive. They've murdered our children, our students on point blank range. They've razed down hundreds, or if not thousands of our villages in their dogged determination to occupy our country, make our laws, institute governments for us without our own consent. We've lived with a system that does not even believe in the right of our people to exist. Cameroonians themselves have shown themselves as lazy, being unable to rise up to challenge an existing oligarchy that has denied them opportunities, that has used our resources and theirs to engage in an adventurous war that it has lost. I know it's been a long journey. It might take a while before we reach our destination, but we will be there as one people. Have confidence in the vision that we have presented. Have confidence in the strategies that we have unveiled, whether they are the economic, diplomatic, or defense strategies. They are objective, based on good faith. Anyone can implement them. Have confidence in the character of the leadership that speaks for you. Represent your aspirations. At the appropriate time, all of us will come together as a people to establish the rules that will govern an independent Amazonia. And you, the people, will have the sole power to determine your future governors. For the moment, we are unapologetic soldiers of the liberation of Amazonia, and we should be dug in. We should arm ourselves. In about a week's time, on the 29th, we will be launching a massive fund drive to mobilize enough machine guns to transform dynamic control into static control, and to make sure that we can provide to our forces enough pops to take out the last remnants of Cameroon's armor cars in our country. I thank those who have already injected funds, especially a committed Amazonia who alone put in $10,000 to provide a machine gun to a particular barrack. We will defend our airspaces. We will defend our seas. We will defend our highlands, our plains. Every nook and cranny of the territory of Amazonia will be defended now until the last remnants of Cameroon's forces are evacuated. And that will just be the beginning. We will make sure no other country exists beside us as a neighbor that threatens us, our freedom, fought and earned through blood, our economic opportunities. We will hold them accountable for every life lost, every limb shattered, every hope that was taken away. It is a promise we make to General Ivo in the grave, to all those who've laid their life for Amazonia. Death or freedom, we are ready for Cameroon. God bless you all.
Hail this land of glory, we the Amazonia, special loyalty, praise the soul of Savior who brought the to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
This has been a live address by the leader of the Ambazonia War of Independence. Thanks for staying with ACN, the Liberation TV of Ambazonia. Welcome to ACN. The Liberation TV of Ambazonia.